You go back Harbor a couple of weeks ago, we saw Mental with a sniper rifle just going absolutely ham. I mean, the guys are a privilege to watch on this map specifically. Of course, we still have our Gfinity pool to complete. Pot A consists of Epsilon, Optic, Envy, and E United. That will be after the North American 2K final, and we will have our final groups for Gfinity this weekend. But without further ado, let's get our North American 2K final underway. Optic Gaming, the green wall, going up against the boys in blue, Team Envyus, for what seems like the millionth time so far this year.
Yeah, you know what? But hey, these guys are #1 and #2, and you gotta always love this showing. You know, it's always gonna be the two best teams putting on their best performance here, and we're gonna see Praise pick up a kill. They tried to get the clean up on Toy, and they will get that, and Praise is gonna drop back here. So as we've seen before on Harbor, both teams are going to be playing for up here on top of the ship, at this control point, at this lookover, because you control this, you have sight lines into the B hill down low, as you see right now, and you also have sight lines on your opponent's home hill as well. So this is that area to control on Harbor. So we usually see those 4v4 fights there every time.
Explosive on your screen, a player who, to be honest, this year has been, or I say yeah, but towards the end of this year has been grinding everything. I mean, you look at the amount of time he's played in the game, his stream grind that he's been doing. Really having a fantastic closing for 2016. 2016's been a pretty bad year for a lot of people, but for Explosive, he's turning it around.
Nah, he definitely has, especially even ending Gears of War UE. You know, all the light was on Mental, all the light was on Lava, all the light was on everybody but Explosives. You know, he didn't get enough love on the squad, and so when you see Gears 4 dropped and the esports scene blowing up again, he's caught all the love, and you can almost say he is the face of Gears 4 in a sense.
Looking at praised perspective from Team Envyus, I mean, one of the big questions on a lot of people's minds watching this is, do Envy really have what it takes to consistently be Optic Gaming? I mean, was what we saw in Columbus maybe a little bit of a fluke? I mean, you go back to the winners bracket final, they got a little bit steamrolled, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Optic looked great. First best of 3, Envy looked phenomenal. They really did look great. But then the second best of 3, it's kind of flipping. It's either Envy completely destroy Optic or Optic completely destroy Envy. There doesn't really seem to be an in-between.
No, I agree with you. It's really not an in-between there. It's either one or the other. But you got to ask yourself, what is the mental block? We've seen amateur teams do better against Optic sometimes than Envyus. But hey, Envyus is the only team that's beat these guys on land. You know, nobody else has been able to do it. So they've came closest out of everybody. We want to say that. You know, they've done it, but they just haven't won a series.
We'll see if they can try and compete in this North American 2K final. Of course, Envyus will be our blue squad. They have themselves B and C under their control. 2-1 advantage. Will they try and push for that trip cap, or will they try and reduce the early lead Optic Gaming is able to generate? Looks as if they're more than happy to sit with 2-1. You see the scoreline as well, 174 to 167. Envy, they're about to take the lead here, guys.
Yeah, and you need Optic to try to play for this B hill, and they're actually pushing towards up top, and we see Toy just picking up kills. I feel like they were kind of pushing into the wrong direction right there, and Toy staying alive, and he's going to be annoying. Optic needs to make sure they break this B hill and break it soon, because we're going to have Envyus pull away with this lead slightly here, and Optic does get the break here.
Are they going to get the lead again?
Oh, they might come out on top of this one. The points is in their favor. No, it's definitely in their favor here.
I don't think they're going to have the time. I think Envy got it by like half a second.
Wow.
Oh, they did. Oh.
And no, I swear I saw that clock. It said 2:09 for everybody, but it was a half a second for Team Envyus.
Legitimately half a second. I think to your point, you kind of saw Optic push up top. There's a couple of players there. If they maybe dedicate those numbers.
They had the wrong state of mind. If they would have took both those players and took their attention away from Toy Soldier and go for that B hill a lot sooner, or at least push through, they would have put themselves in a better position right there.
Maybe a little bit of a misplay in round number 1, but heading into round number 2, we see Optic Gaming with weapon placement, something you don't necessarily see too much unless you're playing
we really don't see these guys put the first weapon down. But when they do, they're going to have to put these shot grenades here and try to defend that B hill a little bit better, because it will be a 1v1 down there as both teams send a majority of their players down low to pretty much fight for that winch area.
You see the map breakout. It's pretty similar to what we're used to seeing. Explosive, he's going to try and control up top for Optic Gaming and around this winch area.
And so we saw on overhead, one player from Team Envyus didn't join a fight right away. He checked the middle of the map before he joined with his teammates. And so the rest of his team pretty much fought a fight a man down. But you see Franchise picking up a double, almost taking out Explosive. So Envyus, they still win that fight, but Optic comes out with map control.
Yep, BNC is under Optic Gaming's control for now, and I mean, Optic is a team who are relentless. As soon as they smell weakness, they're more than happy to put the pressure on, try and go for the trip cap. Something Envy is definitely well aware of at this point.
You can't let that happen, Solars. You know, Solars was in a good position for his squad. He was planning up there. He was exactly where he needed to be, but he didn't see Explosives walk right up the ramp. He walked up uncontested, and Explosives is just flanking everybody. He's got to ask himself, where are these call-outs? But here comes Franchise shutting down that party. Call the police. And Kenny's going to be up here, and he's going to be in a good position watching and defending this B hill.
You got me thinking about online listenings. I would love to do that. I think we should try and figure out a way. We should do it for the fans.
It comes down to Discord. You got to have both teams playing in Discord, and you got to have somebody join the Discord whenever you want to do a listen in.
That's true.
Yeah, it's either that or join in TeamSpeak. Either one of those.
Yeah, we should totally try and find a way of doing it.
Right, that'd be next level.
I think we should.
Nobody's doing that.
Hashtag do it for the fans.
You know, you could do it from nobody who's hosting a major stream show is really doing that, but that'd be dope. You know?
True. Looking at the score, 118 to 94 in favor of Optic Gaming. BNC still under Optic's control. Of course, Envy did win round number 1 here, so Optic fighting from the back foot. Had the first weapon placement, as he mentioned, something you're not really too used to seeing. Explosive will shut down Ribs, though. And now you can see that Assault potentially come through over towards that A hill. They know they need to play the numbers game. Only 12-second respawn as it stands. And Explosive may actually fall here.
And yeah, no, he's going to go down here on the setup. But you know, Optic, you take a look at the score, they have a 40-point lead. And so they're sitting pretty. And you also have 2 Envyus members down as well. So Optic's exactly where they want to be. Toy managed to get a kill out of a situation that he should not have. And he gets revived. So he gets saved by his teammate. And you see it's a 3v3 situation for both teams. Optic with the defining lead here. All they need to do is really just hold their home hill, and you see Toy is going to overextend for that home hill, knowing that he has to play for it while the rest of his teammates are going to be on respawn. And Optic does a good job defending it. They're going to be turtling on C.
Yep, they know all they need is that C hill, and they will be able to level things up here. So you have to expect to see Envy come out and try and break it. Franchise will fall, and looks as if everyone else from Envy is not going to have the time to get over there. You see someone's just backtracked just in case. But that will be the round going to Optic Gaming. And just kind of mentioned a little bit about Franchise. Their franchise at Columbus had such a phenomenal event. I actually spoke to him after the event. I was like, bruh, you really impressed me. He was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, everyone keeps telling me you're the in-game leader. And normally, you know, in-game leaders, they don't expect to see him go up. I was like, bro, you had a fantastic event. He was like, thank you very much, man. More to come.
Those in-game leaders, you don't hear people give them enough credit as far as slaying potential as well. You know, but one of the main ones is Excel. You know, he's that in-game leader. He's that slayer as well. There's a lot of people. Explosives is the in-game leader, and he slays. But you know, for some of the older Gears of War players, you don't see him really get too much of that credit. But you're right. If anybody put a weak link on Envyus, they're either going to say the weak link is Franchise, or they're going to say the weak link is Ribs, you know, which is
I feel like that adds fuel to your belly, though. If someone calls you the weak link, you're like, oh, hell no.
A lot of these players move the way they move today because of Ribs, okay? He was the grandfather of taking movement to the next level. But he also does a job on Team Envyus that some people don't realize, you know. Riz puts himself in a lot of positions to give his team security on some hills, and he makes a lot of great map rotations. He does the stuff that you really don't get credit for, you know, while you have Toy Soldier and Solars taking the spotlight, you know, picking up a lot of kills, you know. So
yeah, your flashy players, I mean, they're always the ones that you kind of see the highlight reels. And when you see those highlight reels, it just tends to be, oh, well, you know, he's the best player on the team. But not necessarily always the case.
Yeah, every team needs them a Ribs.
Every team needs a Ribs?
Yep.
I like it. I like it. I'm sure he likes that comment too. But as it stands, our North American 2K final, map number 1, of course, this is a best of 3, is going to be sitting at 1 round apiece. And here in round number 3, we got ourselves 14-second respawn delay, but Optic Gaming, they smell potential blood here. They're already wrapping towards Envy's home hill. And of course, that's going to be C. B is going to be capped as well. And Envy, if they're not careful here, they're going to get trip capped.
They're looking yeah, I say that's why you got your teammate behind you, just in case you miss those shots. You know, Optic always got players that's going to have each other's back there. And now going into our round number 4, we will see what Team Envyus decides they want to put down to see what can help them here.
How do you slow down Optic Gaming, though? I think that's the question, which so many people are trying to figure out still.
And Team Envyus is going to say it's going to come down to these frag grenades. If they place them, where do they want to place them? Right below the winch. That's a good position. I think they go low with them. Torque bow. Okay.
Okay. Torque bow at stern.
You know, I don't feel like Team Envyus, they won the fight the last round before, and when we look at this overhead, we're going to see one player like kind of spy the middle of the map before he comes to the rest of his teammates. Is one thing that I've been noticing. They don't send 4 up top right away. We're going to see what they want to do, but Optic, looking at the dots, Optic is going to have 4 go up. Yep, okay, well, both teams is going to mirror each other's strategy here.
Looks
and they're going to
way.
have send 3 up top and have 1 person cap.
Looking at Toy Soldier's perspective, just such good movement from Toy. And he's actually going to grab that top bow as well. Now, can he put it to some use? Flies blindly with the smoke, and hey, Kenny. Oh, it's going to be a top bow. Can he find the second? I'm pretty sure. Did that connect?
No, it didn't. But his teammates picked up the kills, and he's going to be there. He's going to clean that one up.
Oh, Toy.
The melees. Oh, look at him. He says, clean up my kill, friend. And Toy is going to pick his shotgun back up, and he's going to have his torque bow domination coming in. He's going to rev this bow and get around this corner and try to catch these Optic members coming out of spot. And Optic ain't even moving. They like, yo, you can have this round. You can have it.
This one's on us, boys. You can take that one. As you mentioned, now the game going to be tied up 2 rounds apiece, and seemed like a different tempo Team Envyus there than we kind of saw. And even the round they won, that was just such a different tempo. They had that game plan. They executed the game plan, and because of it, they found themselves a win.
No, they definitely did here. So now, Optic, what do you guys want to do here when it comes down to the weapon placement? You know, they're making this placement late into the round. We see them hovering over the middle of the map with the snipe there, still plenty of time to change their decision. They lost that initial fight there on the torque bow, so do you do something else? They might put sniper down here, actually, to be honest with you.
You see Mental go off with it.
That's exactly what they're going to do. Put a snipe here in the middle of the map, so we're going to see what they want to do. So you pick up a sniper right there. You don't have too many sight lines up top to really help your opponent. I mean, really help your teammates. So you get that sniper, you're gonna have to drop back to actually pick some headshots up.
You gotta get it and run, basically.
Yeah, you gotta run back. You can't pick up no kills right away unless you opt to try to take care of the guy that's going for those shot grenades. But we're not gonna have anybody play for it. Both teams will still play the same. Probably looking to bait somebody right there. We're gonna see if Optic can actually win this opening fight. This time we're gonna see Toy go down, so that's gonna be good. Explosive's gonna put some shots in on Praise as he runs away. He's gonna get up here to his teammates. So Torque Bow may go in favor of Optic, and yes it will, because Franchise has to back up. Now you gotta ask yourself, what's up with the snipe? And Praise just opted to go to the middle of the map after he got pushed out to go pick up Sniper. So we're gonna see if he can pick up any headshots to help his team out here. And he's gonna back up to defend his home hill.
And you see already numbers advantage in favor of Optic Gaming. They were able to get a couple of kills. Praise still did have that sniper rifle in hand. He's gonna pull out the pistol. He's actually gonna be able to
he overextended. Well. He overextended to Optic's home hill, which was a good play. He wins his 1v1. He breaks the home hill, gives his teammates some time to respawn, and he's gonna try to bait this player out. And that was a great bait. He connects to both those shots, and you see, I couldn't see who it was. I think it was Summons. He just said, "Hey, let me just get out of here, live to fight another day."
And is that actually Kenny with the talk bow? I think it may have been actually. As Praise looks to just try and get away here. I mean,
smart play. He circled around there. He circled around and took his right hand advantage.
Now you have to hit it. Now you have to hit it. Pressure run. You're about to get trip capped. You gotta do something. You can't just sit there with a sniper rifle.
He was his team's only defense there of what he was doing at the home hill, but he had to retreat out of that situation, Benson. It was Optic members that were spawning. He had an intense 1v1. You know, he got out-rotated though, but he probably could have just died on the hill, but at the same time, he brought his team enough time to come back and regain control over the home hill. They just couldn't do it.
Well, that's going to be Optic Gaming now. 3-2 up in the first half. I mean, if you're Team Envyus now, what's the game plan in weapon placement? Did you drop Boom? I mean, we saw them, they don't mind doing it. It's not as if they're
we saw them on Forge. You know, a lot of times, you know, they put that drop shot down. Even on Optic, they put the boom shot down as well. They're not scared to play them with those weapons on the map, but they're going to choose to put nades down on that B hill.
All right, we'll see how that pans out. As, of course, this is the last round of the first half. And it is Optic Gaming with that advantage. Looking at that break again. Looks like it's going to be slapbang mirror matchup, similar to what we've seen pretty much every single round so far. We're going to be on board with Toy Soldier from Team Envyus to kick things off here. He recognizes Kenny is up top. Of course, the talk is still down. We saw Toy absolutely dominate with it, and that was the round. Envy looked completely convincing. He does grab it, fires a shot. Shot is not going to connect, but the pressure from Envy should be enough here to potentially win these first gunfights.
Yo, so he managed to sneak in there and pick that up. He's going to put some shots on the wall, though, but that shot that you see him do when he picked it up, it was a defensive shot. He dropped the torque bow on the ground in case somebody tried to chase him down. They had a nice little present there waiting for him on the ground, almost like a little landmine, you know, ensuring he got out, and he made sure he got out. So once again, every time we've seen Team Envyus win that opening break, they've managed to get Optic's home hill. But the difference between that round and round number 4 is that Optic did not lose control over that B hill.
Well, the score as it stands, 53-50, because you can see that C hill completely neutral. Lava is going to jump on it though, and you see Lava with the sniper rifle, swinging a miss on that one, but should be okay. His teammate there to clean it up. And now, can they apply the pressure over towards A? I mean, bear in mind we're at 20-second respawns here, so every single kill is going to be pretty big.
And so here, Franchise, he's running into enemy territory, you know, running into the Lion's Den and getting mauled right there by explosives. So now Optic Gaming controlling both of these their home hill as well as this neutral point. You're gonna have 4 members down from Team Envyus. They're not gonna be too much aggressive, but Kenny's gonna be very sneaky here, holding his right hand, but he's gonna choose to back up here, waiting for his teammates to get in better positions. And now he's gonna come in here and be annoying there towards Praise, and he's gonna back up, but he has help at the top, waiting for that torque to respawn. Not there yet, but Kenny's just being annoying, and he finally goes down a little bit too aggressive. He makes it around that corner. He keeps his team in a good position here, building up that lead.
Solar's still on your screen today for Team Envyus, and as you said, that lead for Optic Gaming now getting a pretty big, gonna be around about that 40-point mark. 120 to 155, Envy just with control of that A hill. And again, when you see these higher respawn rounds, there's 20 seconds, you see things just kind of slow down pretty drastically.
You definitely do it. This is where teams they understand that they possibly only have one last push to make here before they're before they're mathematically out from coming back here to win it. And they use all that time, you know, to their advantage here to make the right push, and that's what we see Team Envyus doing right here. Out the game and close to winning, they push out, they get control over this B hill. They're not worried about breaking it just yet, because it doesn't matter if they don't get control over Optic's home hill. And Optic turtling back here, Ribs not able to make the play, and you see Envyus members going down left and right, and Optic will come out here with round number 6 and go up 4-2.
Very rare you see Optic Gaming throwaway rounds like that. Very, very rare indeed when a team can just kind of turn around, flip the momentum, and get a trip cap of their own. But 4-2 in favor of Optic Gaming as we go into the second half. Now the map will, of course, be flipped. We go back to 10-second respawn, and no weapons on the map either. So Envyus, look for them to come out the gate strong. Of course, they did win the first round of the first half. Can they try and repeat here and try and just close that gap? You don't want Optic Gaming going up 5-2. That's a scary, scary place to live if you're a boy.
Oh, it's definitely a very, very scary place to live here. And Optic, we see Lava making around this corner before anybody, and you see the angles that he got. You just pull your Lancer and you just shoot, or have your shotty out here. You can't let him get here for free. You gotta ask yourself why. That's because when Lava's coming down this middle ramp right here, if nobody's putting fire on him, adding that extra stopping power to, you know, prevent, you know, him from getting that position so quick, then he gets there for free every single time. You know, whoever's capping Team Envyus' home hill needs to put a Lancer stream right down the middle to kind of slow him down.
Absolutely, and I feel like you're seeing Lava play with a ton of confidence. I feel like Columbus, he really kind of, I don't want to say came out of his shell a little bit, but I was kind of speaking to him, he's like, yeah, I don't normally talk trash, but when my back's against the wall, I was just kind of feeling it.
Yeah, you don't normally see it though, but when you have so much confidence in your team, you can walk off the stage. Okay.
You guys thirsty? I'm gonna go get you. I'm gonna go get you. You close out this round. You close out this round.
We need water. Okay, hold this down real quick, and you can go get water and come back. That's how much confidence he has in his teammates.
Don't worry. I feel pretty confident if I had his teammates too.
Yeah, I would too. Hell.
I'll sit at the back of the map. I'll start giving people back.
I would talk so much trash just because if I can't back it up, I know Explosive's gonna back it up.
Yeah,
I know Kenny gonna back it up, or Mental's gonna back it up, or Summers is gonna back it up.
You're pretty much A-okay. Looking at Toy Soldier's point of view, once again, for Team Envyus here as they try and just work an angle over towards that mid-neutral hill. That E hill, of course, now is going to be up top. And Optic, they have themselves a lead, but a very, very small one. You can see Toy just being a nuisance, if nothing else, as now the pressure is going to be applied. Prey's actually able to pick up a couple of kills there in quick succession, so the E hill now should be theirs. Do they want to put the pressure on and go for the trip cap? That's going to be the question.
I've watched Toy play for so long, but sometimes still his movement just is a very tranquil thing to watch.
It's fluid.
Yeah,
I think that's the best way.
It's so fluid. It's almost like therapy in a sense.
It's like beautiful
so
to
calming.
watch.
Yeah, right. Like
it's like you can really appreciate just like how good
how much skill it actually takes. Because if you have never played Gears before, you try to do what he do, and you appreciate what he actually does. When he first did. The movement was a lot crazier in Gears of War 3 than it is now. And if you saw what he did then,
Oh, Waldo showed me some clips.
Yeah, you couldn't even
Waldo
follow
showed me
them.
some clips. I was like,
So when he first did it, you know, the first thing that everybody did was like, online warrior. It's like back in medieval times when people found a witch and it was like, witch! Like, nah, Yo, sweet potato pie, is this good? Witch! Okay, hanger. That's what it was with Toy. That movement, online warrior, and that's what everybody screamed until he showed up at the event and he did what he do. And then it was just like, oh man, well.
And then he hit you with his movement real quick, and you're like, oh, well, we just got.
Yeah, he's been at the top ever since. He's had a nice Gears of War career ever since then.
As it stands, Optic Gaming do have the lead, but it's only 2 seconds. They are going to need to cap a hill, and they're going to need to do it in the next 5 seconds. Otherwise, I believe it's going to be mathematically impossible. This one going all the way down to the wire. Envy have half a second of a lead. Optic need to cap the airfield. They're going to get it. And that's a complete collapse from Team Envyus. And Optic will find themselves the lead here. They're going to go over to D as well, just in case. Optic Gaming, 5-2.
That's one thing that you could appreciate about whenever these teams go up against each other. You see these teams around that 200, 203 point, they tie the game up, and it comes down to one defining fight.
Yep, and that defining fight, that round was won by Optic, as they win the first round of the second half. Envy on weapon placement. Are they just going to go for that block, or?
Maybe. You know, it depends. So I feel like at this point they're playing, you know, they're playing to what Optic may do when they start to win these rounds, even though you can't play that defensive, you know. They're going to go with core weapons.
Oh, look at the kills. Oh, Praise to only 1 double digits. Meanwhile, Lava 20, Explosive 18, Mental 12.
You know, you got Soldiers here with 4 kills, and that's your main Slayer. That's one of your main Slayers. You know, you got to ask, if you ask yourself, you know, why are we not really winning this map? It comes down to, you know, where Soldiers is.
Plain and simple, you're just not getting the kills. And you consider how quick Lava has been on Winch almost every single time. He's putting so much pressure on Envy. Kind of forces them to back away every time. And you kind of see a similar thing here, but they've rotated up towards that E-hill. They should be able to win these gunfights. Fran, Toy, and Solus all able to pick up one, so that's 3 players now.
I gotta say, you know, one thing that I love, you know, looking at that, I love to see Franchise in these team fight positions, because he needs to be that leader for the squad, because when they're losing those defining fights for key rounds, he's there to make those adjustments that's needed to be made.
Toy, once again, on your screens for Team Envyus. Are they going to go for the trip cap here? Kills still raining in their favor, and even a neutral hit. Just give yourself a cushion. But it doesn't look as if they want to push this necessarily just yet. The problem is the kills they're getting, yes, they're getting a lot of them, but they're not stringing them together close enough where they're going to have a security blanket. But it looks as if maybe they find themselves a little bit of an opportunity. They will lock down that trip cap. 5-3 now, still in favor of Optic Gaming.
Whenever Optic Gaming loses a round, they're able to chain together a few rounds. You got to ask yourself why, because they're making weapon placements based off of how they play in their strong areas. So we're going to see, based off of this weapon placement, is going to, based off of just what we've seen beforehand, they place this weapon down, they're going to win a few rounds off of it. But, you know, they're playing to their style. They're not playing defensively. It's an offensive weapon
Every time they lose a round, they win 2.
Exactly, just because based off what they want to do. So they're going to choose what they want to put here.
I'm surprised they're not going over towards the stern side. I mean, yeah, they lost last round, but pretty much the entire map, it's been under their control. They opt against it. We'll see Praise just kind of has to keep leading the way, has to keep doing what he's doing in terms of the kill column. Otherwise, Envy, I mean, they're just going to get to the point where they're getting so outslayed, they're just not going to be able to compete, especially when you look at those later rounds where the respawn gets high. That's a horrible, horrible time for a couple of players.
Yeah, so those shot grenades go down, and that's going to prevent any early 3 caps that we're able to see here, as long as we see it used defensively here. So we're going to see if Kenny can actually do that. And now Praise is going to make it up here. Team Envyus gets control over this top part. Once again, they give the winch area into control of Lava. He makes around his corner, and he's full red, and he actually goes down. That's Team Envyus' shot grenade, and that was a good use of that shot grenade to actually take out Lava. That was actually a good play, and we see the second shot grenade come out to prevent Praise from using that point, but nobody's able to clean him up. So Team Envyus is pushing forward here and looking to put the pressure on Optic Gaming.
Yeah, looking very good. That E-hill is basically going to be Envy's for free at this point. You managed to win those early fights and force the remaining Optic Gaming players to struggle away with their tails between their legs. As Ribs now defensively has to go big at the F hill. Doesn't want to allow anyone from Optic Gaming to overextend. There was a lot of shots being fired, and he's actually going to get stuck between a rock and a hard place and will fall. Actually, Optic turning the tides, it seems, in terms of the kills. There's 3 strung together relatively quickly. We are at, what, 14-second respawn as it stands, so those players are going to be down and out the action for a while. And if Optic want, they can actually collapse on this E hill and really put Envy in a terrible, terrible place.
No, they definitely can't put Envy in a terrible place. Envyus doesn't want to go down 6-3 here,
Oh, no.
but we see Optic just pushing up here. Domination possibly coming in.
There was even a team kill in there as well. Love actually fell to a teammate, but D&E under Optic Gaming's control. They're going to build that lead once again. And Optic just so good at just turning the tide. When it looks like the tempo is in Envy's favor, someone just pops a 2-piece, and then the next thing you know, 3 players down for Envy, they lose map control.
Explosive, you know, he thought he could push through. He waited for his teammates. His timing was off just a little bit, but he finally gets the timing down with his teammates, and you just see the team fire coming in there, defending Optic's home hill. And Ribs being real sneaky here, trying to stay alive. His teammate's gonna go down here, but he's gonna opt to run away from this fight and reposition himself and regroup with his teammates. Smart move there by Ribs.
Yeah, really, really heads up play. Recognize, hey, let me just get to my team support. The problem is he gonna be able to get there? Lava putting a lot of shots down. And as you said, Ribs, very heads up play. You can now kind of rethink, re-strategize that push.
But
what the Envy want to do.
Yeah, but those like little small plays right there, I feel like we don't give enough credit to. We give enough credit to the players with the flashy movement, picking up the doubles and the triples. But those players like that is just your unsung heroes.
They're the plays which you don't see all the time, but they're the plays which open the door for the other plays which you do see to really come through. And I think you're completely right. I feel like we don't really give enough love to those types of plays. I'm sure if I was a player, you know, like Ribs, I'd be like, hey, come on, like, give me a little bit more love, man.
Yeah, right?
Give me something. Give me something. But Optic Gaming, as it stands, can win off just 1 hill. The lead is massive. They're about to hit that 200 points. Can Envy somehow, some way neutralize the D hill, bring themselves back into it? Franchise, he's over there, but well, it didn't last long. That didn't go well for him.
Not well at all for him. Optic, as we see, they lose a round. They win a few rounds after. So hey, if history stays the same, they win on the next round here.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Green Wall still standing strong, 6-3 up. Of course, Envyus, I feel like they do this every time their backs against the wall. They either put drop shot or boom shot. Every single time that someone else is at match point.
This is their YOLO pick. Their YOLO picks come on match point. YOLO.
I don't know if Talk is ultra YOLO, but normally, especially at Columbus, we saw it a lot at Columbus where they would just be match point down, boom shot.
So so the thing is, I would say about the boom shot, the boom shot's still gonna be good, but the torque bow, you have a lot, like it's a lot of sight lines. I think torque bow or snipe there is completely fine pick, especially with the players that's on Team Envyus. They can use that really, really well, as we've seen Toy Soldier around round 3. He just like, he dead ass walks in your face. That's disrespectful.
How you doing, buddy? I'm gonna turn this car, I'm gonna kill you. You don't have a say in any of this.
Yeah, but his teammates are dropping the ball here.
Toy only have 11 kills. I feel like every time we see Toy, he's making stuff happen.
He knows when the camera's on him. It's something. He has a sixth sense, and he starts doing good whenever we look at him. I think that's just it.
Toy, camera on you now, pal. Hit another through smoke. You won't. All right. Yes, you will.
Semi. That was half through smoke. Half through smoke.
Yeah, I guess you're right. We don't count that one, but he has hit one through the smoke.
Now watch, he's gonna die because the camera's not on him.
Watch that kill keep.
Nah, see, he's missing shots now because the camera's not on him. Now he's getting chased down here. Now he's gonna make a horrible play.
Oh, Toy, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself, Toy. Stay alive, Toy. You're good. Okay, he's okay. He's okay.
He's about to watch. Lava's just gonna push him and just like just disrespect him.
We'll have to wait and see. For now, though, Toy still alive. Oh, here's the push.
Oh, here comes the shot grenade, which is a well-placed shot grenade to stop this advancement here. Praise here on the defensive, trying to stop this middle assault here, and he's gonna pick up a kill there, taking out Kenny.
Okay.
Optic not able to push up this ramp. They're gonna be very defensive here, let their teammate kind of tap up and crawl back, but Lava got downed out. Good team fight there by Team Envyus, and they're holding the 2 cap, but you know, this game can still go either way. Only a 30-point differential here. It's still early on.
Yep, and 16-second respawns as well, still to play with. 120 to 84, D&E under Envyus' control up to gain just with that 1 hill. But as you said, the tide can turn so very, very quickly in escalation, especially when you take a look at the likes of Optic Gaming. You look at the overhead, just shows you how much control Team Envyus have at that stern area of the map. And I mean, if you're Optic at this point, you say, hey, screw E, we have to play for D, try and force Envy to break their own setup and then go for E.
I just want to say the camera's not been on Toy Soldier, and I haven't seen him get a kill in the kill feed. So
You gonna do him like that?
I'm just saying, hey, you know,
He's controlling E, bro.
he knows when the camera is on him. That's when he gets kills.
Well, Optic Gaming looking to try and break Envy. This would be a heartbreaking L for Team Envyus, and Fran has other ideas. He's not going to let that happen. Mental and Kenny both fall. And honestly, there should be no way Envy throw this round away.
Yeah,
hey, if Envy
they
loses
shouldn't, but we've seen them do it. We've seen them do it before.
Please, Fran, for all that is holy, just sit in the hill.
Look at him. That should be a scary sight when you see all those Optic members running the straight line.
You're good. Toy killed explosive. You're good. Okay, thank you, Team Envyus, for not breaking our hearts like that.
All right, then locking down this round here. So going to round 11. You know, you can only remove weapons that are already on the map when it comes down to round 12, 13, and round 6. So they have to play something new here.
Or you could block if you feeling afraid. But again, it's up to gaming on weapon placement. So
I feel like Team Envyus already used the block, and it's not gonna be another block here. So take a look at what they want to do with what's left.
That's true.
And because you only can have one weapon on the map, and as well as only one block. So.
Ooh, maybe no.
Frag grenades
underneath winch. I like that. Obviously, you have Lava being pretty aggressive over towards winch, so that could potentially one of his teammates grab them, help him out if he does need that help. Throw it over, make sure that he wins that winch fight, and then immediately you're flanking over towards the E hill. That puts a lot of pressure up top, but. Well, wait and see how that plays out.
Lava is the nade master.
That's true. So actually, you're kind of pulling him out of position by putting those nades down.
Yeah.
Or are you? Dun dun dun.
Yeah, we're gonna see. I think explosives is.
Did they just give him away? I feel like they didn't play for them.
He's gonna check for him and see if he can bait anybody in there. And explosive is gonna try to use that smoke grenade, but it wasn't placed well enough for him to sneak in there and pick him up. He would have took a few bullets to get it.
Well, nade's still gonna be down. Meanwhile, Praise on your screens. Envy. Looking to really fight back here, but unfortunately Praise has to roll off that E-hill before he can fully cap it. Kill should go in their favor though, so looks good. And actually Praise now with the torque in his hand, can he spot explosives? Little head over the other side of the map, he's gonna fire it over and, well, I didn't connect.
Yeah, he's gonna come up short though, but he does have eyes on other players. He's gonna waste those 2 torque bolts right there. Team Envyus does have control. I think, I feel like he's firing these torque bolts too fast here.
Take your time.
Yeah, be patient. Use those as a more so of a defensive tactic here. He's gonna finally pick up a kill on that one, and he may pick up another one across map as well. So now Team Envyus needs to not get embarrassed here by summons, but he's gonna do just that.
Oh, bruh.
Gonna do just that.
Bruh.
Okay, that's what you need not happen here.
Oh,
when you plan on making comebacks.
God damn it.
We ain't gonna say a prayer for that. We're just gonna keep on casting.
Yeah, you had a 2-to-1 hill advantage, and then you're gonna let someone do your belly like that. That's gonna basically break the setup. And see potential trip cap come through.
And like I said before, when you want to say Optic got a weak member, and you want to say the summons, well, that's what their weak member does.
Someone said you would have fallen.
Yeah, right.
Potential trip cap coming through once again. Can someone from Envy break the F hill? Shock charge does go down. That's gonna prevent Envy from pushing for now. It's gonna leave it completely neutral. Optic will be able to reduce that early Envy lead, but there's still up to gaming players over there. Solas finally gets in behind, cleans up one. Can he find the second? Yes, he can. That's done by Solas. Envy still alive.
And so, Solas kept him in this game here, but, him being one of the main slayers on his team, pretty much is what his main job is. He needs to, step it up here on the kill feed there.
He does, as Solas actually going to be picked up. They instantly caps his home hill, overextends, capped Optic Gaming's home hill. Now can they work to put the pressure over towards E? A potential trip cap could come through. Bear in mind, 18-second respawn, so you do have a pretty long death timer. As Solas and Envy continuously getting these kills, you want to see that pressure come through, but they're not stringing the kills together close enough. As I say that, though, someone has overextended over towards E, but Kenny is up there as well. He recognizes that he needs to win those gunfights, has teammates in support. Talk picked up by Optic Gaming. Now Optic Gaming, they need to break Team Envyus' setup, because Envy just taking the lead.
Yeah, but Optic, they got control over the top half of the map. They got this torque bow. They have eyes on everybody. Good torque bow.
They have to go now, though. They need to neutralize, and that's exactly what's happening. They're losing E, though. It's going to be Toy Soldier. Can Toy win the big 1v1? It's going to be Mental up there. In fact, all 3 hills completely neutralized. Toy He picks up Mental, so E is going to go for him. Who's going to control F? It looks like that's going to be Team Envyus. Team Envyus, they're down, but they are by no means out of this 2K final.
Yeah, and Toy is, you know, that's how confident he is in this movement. He just stops moving and waits for you to move, and he reacts to what you're doing. Okay, he's still.
He's almost baiting. He's saying, "I expect you to think that I'm gonna move, but I'm gonna stand still, and then you're gonna move, and you're gonna miss your shot, and I'm gonna kill you."
You know, it almost like
Just
a Duracell moment right there. You know, like it almost like those batteries die. You need to make sure you get the right batteries in your controller, there, big boy. All right, so. But hey, man, some people don't. Hey, when you at home, you don't want to deal with your wire controller, okay? All right, and you know, depending on how cheap you are, you go to the dollar store and you be getting the wrong kind of batteries. Okay, that's when you mess up.
I feel like there's a story behind you, like losing in a final at some point because you had, like, that was real.
That was real story.
I feel so sorry for you.
Okay, and then I lost it, and then I did one of those moments where I lost the fight. My teammate was down in front of me. Somebody else pushed me. I would have won the 1v1, but then my batteries died. Okay, because I got these dollar store batteries in my controller, and I ain't rocking the Duracell. And then I lost the fight, and I immediately started talking about the next map. I was like, you don't worry about that. Let's keep on going. And then one of my teammates was watching the stream, and it was like, hold up, you gonna play that off? Like, I don't want to talk about it. You know, shout out to Scar if you're out there watching.
Kills heavily in Optic Gaming's favor, though, at the start of this round. You can see a couple of players from NBA are actually already down. Solus, he's going to be dropped as well, but not cleaned up. He will actually be able to get up, and that's not how you throw nades in Gears of War, actually.
Well, just like that there, folks. Optic Gaming, 7-5 for Harbor.
Did that just happen?
That just happened.
Solus just threw a grenade at two of his own teammates, killing both. that